he picked the wrong family, and not scared of a conflict, and we're not scared. We're not running. We're coming at him.
But it just tells the story of it's the evil and the ugliness of people's hearts these days is everywhere.
Hey guys, welcome to the Think Tank. How's everyone doing this morning? Well, afternoon, I guess. Everyone doing well? Shauna, you're not up to snuff, my friend? Yipes. Get better soon. Sick is not good. Tracy, good to see you. Dandy, Chopper, wow. Busy morning. Everyone's having a good chit chat. Right on. Love to see it. Love to see it. So, hey, Farq, good to see you, friend. So what are you guys thinking about this leak that has happened? Is it getting cold where you are, Dandy? It's only about 8 Celsius now, and they're talking about snow mixed with rain, and I'm like, no, not already. So I spent some of my morning going after the defense memorandum for that Frank's hearing. Oh my word. I just think, I don't know how you guys feel, but I'm thinking this case is like so polluted now that they almost need to start from scratch. Yeah, you think that, yeah. Yeah. Yeah, we're getting below zero at night the odd time. It's like all of our trees. Well, they were all really pretty colors for a while there, but now they're just kind of on the ground getting a little crunchy. Oh, my word. Yeah, freeze warnings. So let's see here. There's actually a bit that I wouldn't mind going over, to be honest with you, because this case is just unreal. So, Indiana State Police reportedly investigated evidence leak in the Delphi case. So what do you guys think they're going to do before we get into this? What do you guys think they're going to do if this is the case? Do you think that they will fire the defense? Hey, Mel, good to see you. All good. We're just starting. Tracy, you think intentional leak. So what do you think the judge will do with this information? Do you think that they will fire them, I guess? I mean, they're, as far as I can tell, they're not cheap lawyers. Let's put it that way. They've got their own practices, and people need to be penalized. Jeopardizing a case like this is disgusting. It is, Dandy. It really, really is. I just think it's brutal. Yeah, I heard someone in the office. That's kind of what I heard too, friend. And yeah, it could be a total disaster. I mean, we don't want them. We don't want them at this point defending him because it's so tainted in so many ways. They have to look at that. Yeah. They have to look at that or something close. This is and could be a total disaster. Absolutely. Hello, hello. Jazzy's being good. They're both napped out, so that's always a good thing. So, did I say good morning, Chopper? I hope I did. If not, good morning. So, do you think that they will literally fire the defense? Do you think that is something that they're going to end up doing? And then what does that mean? Do we go right back to the beginning? And from there, what, another year or so? And how does it come out? I don't know how. I'm just this case. I mean, from Odinism to leaks to, oh my God. It's just like I feel this case is so tainted right now. Depends on what's happening with this case. You think so? I don't think so. I think they will put some sanctions on them, fine them. Okay. I'm currently getting hit with commercials and I'm here. Mexi. Good to see you. Okay, what did I just see back here? So, well, if it's the team that leaked the info, the judge will have to sack them all and start again somehow. Yeah, probably in a different town. I mean, I can see them even having to change towns. Nothing can be said, used now. Either a new trial or a new defense lawyer, something major has to happen. Yeah, well said. I think the defense is making the case more difficult for the state by using conspiracy theories. I can totally agree with that, friend. Absolutely. They're public defenders. The taxpayers are paying. They don't want to start over. Well, they don't have very good control of their office, do they? It's like unreal. That's exactly what I think. That it's going to be interesting to see what the judge does with this. So I haven't seen where it has said this, but I am going to assume that it's closed. It'll be closed again. It's always closed, right? Okay. What did I do there? Let's see here. I fixed it. I know, so freaking anxious. Okay, so this is a couple of days ago. And from Fox. Delphi, an investigation by the Murder Sheet podcast, certain elements of which have been confirmed by Fox 59, indicates an alleged leak of sensitive crime scene and evidence by Richard Allen's defense team that could derail the early 2024 trial of the man accused of attacking two young girls in Delphi nearly 7 years ago. Oh my God, it's taken so far. So let's see here. This past Thursday, Special Judge Fran Gull of Allen County issued an order for hearing on October 19th in her Fort Wayne, so it will be her Fort Wayne courtroom to discuss the upcoming hearing on October 31st, 2023, and other matters which have recently arisen. What could that possibly be? Hello, James. Okay, so those other matters most likely include the revelation that a handful of Delphi crime scene evidence items have been circulated along with social media communities that have focused on the passing of Abby Williams and Libby German near the Monon High Bridge, February 13th, 2017. So if anybody gets those, send them to me and then report the person that's showing them. And no, they are not for public consumption if I get them. I am more curious about the sticks and positioning. That's basically all I am kind of curious about, because I do believe that is going to tell us a lot about the person who did this. Definitely, and I will not go looking for them. But if they happen to get to me somehow, I'd probably take a boo and delete them. But this defense has thrown in so much BS, from this Odinism to the guards being bad to just everything, you know? So what did they lie about when it comes to that crime scene? That's what I want to know, because from my personal opinion, and that's all this ever is, if I'm speaking, is my own opinion. So everybody basically do your own searches and make up your own minds. I try to get a few different sides when we're doing our lives so we can kind of try to make some kind of sense. But this case, I tell you what, in my opinion, this defense has totally polluted this case. Like, they've thrown a massive wrench into it. And I'm not using my potty mouth as to how I really feel about it. Well, hello, Emily. Good to see you, friend. So Ellen's attorney, Andrew Baldwin. Is that who we were talking about earlier, Maxie? Of Franklin, and Bradley Rossi of Logansport first earned the ire of Judge Gull last December, just weeks after their appointments, and the team released a 3-page release blasting the case against their clients. They're playing dirty, guys. No, random people will never see that kind of stuff. Ever, ever. That's not for public consumption as far as I'm concerned. I'm pretty careful as to what I will and won't share when it comes to people. I try to leave names out, try to leave some names out, some faces. And I mean, the stuff that I have been sent over the past couple of years with all these different cases, very disturbing. But no. I had one that I sent to Jennifer Coffindoffer because I thought it was pretty messed up. But past that, they're deleted and gone. But a couple things I'm really curious about, for sure. And it has nothing to do with, the stuff that I would have to blank out in my brain. So this last spring, an advertent leak of discovered evidence popped up on the social media. Ellen's attorney took responsibility for the mistake, resulting in an admonishment from the court. More carefully guard and the state's discovery documents. So they've already been in trouble for what they've put out. September was marked by a flurry of defense filings, claiming the state had withheld evidence and misled the original judge, and seek a search warrant for Allen's home while trotting out a theory that cultists could have committed these passings. I mean, right there. How does a rational person deal with that? Right? They should be disbarred. I can't argue with you there, James. Like, I can't. If the defense are releasing court documents and pictures, they should be disbarred. Yeah. And I don't think that's an overreaction. I believe that. How's everyone? I think he's guilty. I really do too, friend. I really, really do too. Heathens. They're heathens. Darn it, damn it, damn. Yeah, just as Sean is saying here, I really have no idea. Just can't them start all over with new people. They may have to. That's the way it's looking. That is the way it's looking. I think he's guilty. I'm just not sure if he was alone. That's where I'm sitting. The whole Keegan Kline thing, I don't know. I cannot leave him out of this picture. I don't think it's a coincidence that they were catfished, set up a time to meet somebody, then they deleted all that information off of the phone and went across that bridge. And by the looks of it, they probably waited there for a minute or two, because Mexi and I were talking earlier, and that picture that they've got of Abby crossing the bridge, as we all know, we're not seeing him on the bridge unless he was that little dark speck at the very, very middle of the picture at the back. Oh my goodness. I've always thought he was guilty, and the same with his young buddy who faked an account to lure him. Yeah, Keegan Kline. You bet. You don't think it was one guy? Yeah, fair enough. Absolutely fair enough. I think so too. I think that is him on the bridge. I mean, they throw out a couple other characters, and we'll talk about one later, but no. It's all sus. Completely sus. Agreed. Yeah. Brutal. Heathens come from Roman times, non-believers in Christianity, and started with the Attila the Hun. Oh, I thought that guy was on Star Wars. Good question. Who else could it have been on that bridge? Well, hello. Perry has joined us. Good to see you, friend. So who is it? Let me double check here who I was chit-chatting with this morning. The Alternate Corner was doing a live and mentioned a couple of you guys. So that's really awesome. That's really, really awesome. I watched some of his stream this morning, one of the cases, and I did add him to my description. So if anybody wants to check him out, please do. He likes it, by the looks of it, it looks like he likes to stream trials. That's what it looks like. So, as we know, most of us do enjoy that stuff. Yeah, but I don't understand what happened. They released information to the public. Right? Well, hello, Tony's place. Good to see you, friend. Yeah. So if it is somebody in their office, what do you guys think? If it's somebody in their office that leaked this stuff, should they still be taken off? Do you think? If it was somebody. Oh, it was Jabba the Hutt. Attila the Hun definitely wasn't in Star Wars. I was Jabba the Hutt. Okay, I don't get out much. And right, Perry, Keegan Kline has his hands in it somewhere along the line. Anthony Schott's account too. Coincidental. Yeah, right. And like everybody always says, there's really no coincidences when you come to true crime. Yeah. And the timing of it. Oh, are they calling it a former employee now? Okay. Yeah, there's that too. If they can't keep their documents private until trial, they should be disbarred. Yeah, so they probably should have had good a good idea as to how private some of these things are and why they shouldn't even be put out there with all the other information. Like, does the whole office need to see that stuff? Yeah. I mean, I've heard that. Absolutely. Yeah, they could be charged. It's called perverting the course of justice in the UK. I think it's called the same. Darn privates. Who needs the privates? I can stay somewhere else. So I'll get back into this a little bit. I'm really enjoying the chat today. Everybody's got great, great ideas and thoughts. As always. As always. Chat's getting a little bit bigger, slow and steady, and everybody who's new, welcome. You guys are just absolutely great additions. Yeah, right, Tony? Agreed. Agreed. I'm sure the former employees, once they were fired for leaking the photos. What did I see there? Chopper. Even if it was a paralegal releasing this information, the lawyers in charge should be disbarred anyways, just for allowing anyone to access these documents. Well said, friend. Oh, yeah, they get paid. They get paid. Like, look at how much Brian Koberger's lawyers get paid. It's enough to gag a monkey. Like, are you kidding me? Gag a gorilla. Gag me with a shovel. Thank you very much, Dandy. Boost us up into that algorithm. Yeah, and that is a fair comment, right? It really is. It's just, oh my word. Okay. So those filings drew a sharp rebuke from the Carroll County prosecutor, Nicholas. I need some hydration. My tongue's sticking to the top of my face again. Okay. Those filings drew a sharp rebuke from Carroll County prosecutor Nicholas McClelland, who decried that he referred to as sensationalistic and unsubstantiated claims, even as investigators were forced to retrace their steps, conduct follow-up interviews and sources, and comply with massive discovery demands. Now it would appear Over the last month, social media discussions have centered around what would seem to be specific inside knowledge of the defense's team's strategy, as well as claims that certain crime scene evidence had been acquired, though not published. The M-Sheet podcasters, Kevin Greenlee and Anya Kane, reported today and confirmed to Fox 59 that a social media source revealed to them the existence of those evidentiary items on October 5th. The tip led the prosecutors to confirm the identities of the persons associated with the leaked information. One of those persons identified is reportedly a former professional associate with Baldwin's. Facebook messages reviewed by Fox 59 retained discussions by two other people, a man from Hamilton County who reportedly received the information from a former Baldwin associate, and a Texas man with whom he shared that information. In those messages, the Indiana participant writes, "Defense just got girls' phone records, and they're saying that there is stuff good for Rick." In another message from earlier this month, the Facebook author writes, "He is supposed to go to Franklin during the upcoming weekend, and that he just wants a fair fight for the defense while blasting the prosecution." That was followed by a handful of messages from October 5th, as the same participant refers to my guy, and he is going to be with Andy tonight. He was talking about me going down Saturday. There is also messages where the sender asks the recipient to protect me in the release of evidentiary items, as the two correspondents discuss how to best cover their tracks, while referring presumably to an individual involved in the inadvertent leak of defense evidence last spring. Like, this is just not a new thing with these people. It seems that, I don't know, it seems like there's just a lot of shade being put on this case by the defense, regardless of how it's getting there. So Greenlee and Kane said that the Texas social media Delphi follower contacted them, and when he became aware of the explosive and sensitive nature of the leaked information, and urged them to contact Indiana State Police investigators so as not to run afoul of the court's gag order, be cited for contempt of court, or be found in possession of illicitly obtained exclusive evidence. Following a conversation with the investigator, the podcaster said he then deleted the files from their electronic services devices and posted a podcast update today detailing their involvement in the acquisition of leaked information and the identification of the participants, while calling upon the social media company to show restraint and not disseminate the evidence or discuss it in detail. Yeah, if anybody sees this stuff, it has to be reported. Pictures of these little girls, the way they were left, is nobody needs to put that information out for the public. It's disrespectful, it's cruel, and it's illegal. So don't do it. Don't go streaming this stuff. So Fox has learned that an individual named as one of the social media followers involved in the leak died unexpectedly this past week after investigators began their inquiry. So have you guys heard of this? A week ago. So I'm going to read that again. Fox has learned that an individual named as one of the social media followers involved in the leak passed unexpectedly this past week after investigators began their inquiry. What do you guys think of that? Sus AF? Yeah, right? I'm going to come back down there. This case is too much. If there's some sort of group running around in the area unaliving children, sure makes you wonder, right? Absolutely. Absolutely. I'm getting a bad taste in my mouth when it comes to defense with so many cases. I really, really would like to see, I don't know, some reins put on defense maybe, because to me it's almost like they can say anything that they want, whether it's factual or not. That's what I'm seeing. They do this, what I believe I'm seeing anyways, they do this, and then they start leaking what? In evidence? No. No, be doing that. I'm with you there, Chopper. Yeah, I'd like to find a defense that I could actually support. I mean, even if the guy's guilty, there's ways to handle things legally and still get your point across. Very, very, very poor taste. Yeah. It's not something anybody should be doing. Not only that, I mean, some people can see that and put it in another box and it's not going to affect them. But there's also a large majority of people that see that stuff and it's so traumatic, it's damaging. It's just nothing that needs to be out for the public. It's just not. And whoever had the brilliant thought of doing this and putting that out for the public to see, I don't know. It's just, what do you do to someone like that? I mean, they need charges, absolutely. And I don't think they should be light. These are kids. The defense in Nicholas Cruz's case made me so angry, unethical, unprofessional, and disgusting. Yeah, I don't like it at all. I remember watching, when we were all going through the Murdoch trial. It was like, what? Chong there, like he was just a mess. Oh, Chopper, right? I really feel terrible for these parents having to deal with this BS. They're already dealing with enough. Exactly, the whole families. These people. Okay. So legal experts consulted by Fox indicate a leak of this nature, considering earlier orders from the judge, might result in either another warning from the bench or the dismissal of the attorneys and the appointment of a new legal team to represent Allen, and therefore almost certainly lead to a delay of his January 8th trial, 2024. How can they just give them a warning with how they just, oh my God. No warning, bye-bye. How about just bye-bye? So Judge Gall is yet to rule on a request from the media for presence of cameras in the courtroom during Allen's trial for a motion by his attorneys to dismiss the search warrant that led investigators to the defendant's home last October, where detectives claim they found a bang-bang that matched an unspent bullet reportedly found at the crime scene. Oh, my word. I mean, the screw they could have just put into this. Me too. I was literally shouting at them from my living room. Sadly, when things like this are leaked, it's never for the greater good. It's all about money. For them, does not. Yeah, it does not help anyone. My God. Yes, I think so. That's what I think. Dismiss the whole team. Bye-bye. I agree with you 100%, friend. Yeah. In a crime scene, workers are not investigation team or jury, not random people. Exactly. Dismiss the defense team. Let this POS present, represent himself, right? I'd like to see a lot of them try and, well, I don't know. Then there's Daryl Brooks, but you know what I mean? It's just unreal. Okay. So this guy here. Evidence from the man who deleted himself in a standoff shared with Delphi investigators. Have you guys heard of this? Have you guys ever heard about this guy that just unalived himself that has connections to this case? Yeah, that's what I'm afraid of. Another Brooks. Yeah, I hope he deals quickly with this mess too, Tracy. So this fellow here, have you seen his face before? I'm going to look back on previous, before they charged Allen, I want to go look at their earlier suspects because this guy really looks familiar and I'm thinking he could be one. So let's see here. Lebanon, Indiana. Lebanon police are sharing evidence from a standoff where a man passed by unaliving himself with investigators on the Delphi case. On June 27th, Paul Etter ended up in an hours-long standoff with police in Boone County. The 55-year-old was wanted on charges that he took and SA'd a woman from Tippecanoe County. I love that name, Tippecanoe. Are you kidding me? Love it. Police have been searching for him for days when a Lebanon officer pulled him over. It was a stressful event and everybody maintained discipline. And he chose how it ended. Lebanon police officer Ben Phelps told our investigators or our news gathering partners, the Lebanon Reporter, and while it's not what we wanted, it's apparently what he had planned. Police reportedly, collected Etter's DNA, but it is not clear if it's part of the evidence turned over to investigators working on the deleting of Libby, German, and Abby Williams back in 2017. He's not a priority, Carroll County Sheriff Toby Lesenby said. He's being looked into and pursued, but that's like all the others we've been looking into all along. Sergeant Kim Riley with the Indiana State Police would only tell Eyewitness News that if a name has been given to them, they investigate them like all other names or tips that they have received. Sergeant Riley would not confirm if Etter was among those that were investigating. So they are looking at this guy. They've brought him up a couple of times, and they are looking at this guy. Like, what? So I just seen the name Telly Savalas. No, Robert Tells. Why was I looking at Telly Savalas? Good Lord. Lordy. So then we got this. Judge to weigh Delphi case options after leaked discovery. Kojak. Yeah, Telly Savalas, right? Oh, my word, guys. So let's see here. Carroll County, Indiana. Revelations over the weekend that the leak of defense team crime scene photos to Delphi social media posters will force Ellen Superior Judge Fran Gull to take a hard look at the status of Richard Allen's case Thursday. Allen is accused of attacking Libby German and Abby Williams not far from the banks of the Deer Creek below the Monon High Bridge in Carroll County on February 13th, 2017. He was arrested a year ago and faces a January 8th. Now, this could change. This could very much change, depending on what they find out on Thursday. So January 8th, 2024 trial before Judge Gall, who was appointed by the Indiana Supreme Court to hear the case in Delphi. Because that other judge, he said he was scared and had to leave. I don't know what that was all about, but he literally said he was concerned about his life. I don't understand what that was all about. The Looney Boone trial. So let's see here. This weekend, the Murder Sheet podcast reported to Fox News partially confirmed that a recent leak of crucial evidence in the possession of Ellen's attorneys to the Delphi case, observers active on social media, caused the court to order a status hearing this week in Fort Wayne to consider other matters that have recently arisen. It's out of control out there. That's what I think. Unfortunately, said Anya Kane of the M Sheet, it definitely raised questions about what exactly happened and how this was allowed to happen. The M Sheet reported and has reviewed documents indicating that a former employee of Allen's lawyer, Andrew Baldwin, accessed the evidence that the defense team received under discovery from the state. The information was passed on to a Fisher's man who was active on Facebook, sharing messages with at least one other case follower, as well as likely passing that evidence on to another person who then leaked it out to other social media posters. Kane and co-host Kevin Greenlee were contacted on October 5th by one of those secondary posters who urged the podcasters to contact Indiana State Police investigators and advised authorities that a sensitive leak of this nature had occurred. We essentially printed out what our source wanted us to print out, in addition to graphic crime scene images that we received, and then after doing an in-person interview, we deleted those graphic crime scenes from our device, said Kane. Yeah, well done. Greenlee then reverse engineered the leak from his source to the original leaker connected to Baldwin. When he saw the Facebook communications between our source and the person who provided him with these images, we looked at that other person's Facebook profile and we saw his list of friends. And we saw on that list a name we recognized. This was the name of a person who had been a former employee of Andrew Baldwin's criminal defense team. Baldwin is precluded from commenting on the case due to a standing gag order from Judge Gull. However, another defense attorney who knows Ellen's lawyer does not believe he intentionally participated in the leak. I think highly of the attorneys involved, and I think real high of Andrew Baldwin, said Shay Hughes of the Tippecanoe. I love it, Tippecanoe. County Public Defender's Office. I don't think there's any willfulness going on. So willfulness, yeah, she's a special judge. I don't think that's going to make a difference, is it? Because somehow it got out there. So whether or not there's neglect handling of the discovery, I don't know. I would assume there are safeguards put in place. One would think. But these guys is, yeah, these guys, I mean, they seem to like the games, in my opinion, right? Just looking at some of the stuff there. Imagine hating yourself enough to hating yourself so much you decide to represent your own case in court. Yeah. Yeah, this isn't the first time. It happened when they first started up. So, not only is there a court order regarding access to this case discovery and an existing gag order, but Judge Gall also admonished the defense team last spring during an early inverted leak or inadvertent leak to discover information to the third party. So yeah. What? Yes, it's a mess. The social media element has made more of a mess, and it's hurt real people, said Kane. So no, the social media aspect, I'm sorry, is not what did this. The person who leaked it is the part that's troubling, not the social media element out of it. You can't be doing that. I mean, if someone didn't leak it to the social media, it wouldn't have gotten out now, would have it? So it's back on them, in my personal opinion. And there's so much that it's social media's fault. They blame so much. But at the same time, I don't know. Are they uncomfortable? Is social media taking over? Is that what it's going to be? The flexibility and hopefully the honesty of some of these channels out there. But yeah, I mean, even Anya Kane is saying it's a mess. It is, it's a mess. It hurt the people who should be uplifted this whole situation, which are the families of Libby and Abby. And I think there's something very troubling and disgraceful about that. And it's just compounding the tragedy at this point. Baldwin would potentially be represented by a lawyer of his own in Judge Gall's courtroom Thursday. Boom. Boom. I like it. I'll read that again. Baldwin could potentially be represented by a lawyer of his own in Judge Gall's courtroom. Isn't that interesting? He's wanting to cover his butt now, right? So I'm assuming that Richard Allen will not be brought in there because this is more about the lawyers. But, I mean, that's not confirmed either. I'm just thinking this isn't really about him this time, is it? Yeah. I think it would be malicious communications. You can be jailed for it. Yeah, I mean, somebody needs a good smack on the butt. Contempt of court. I agree, Chopper. It should be a felony. So, potentially, yep. Get a lawyer, buddy. Get a lawyer. I think it's extremely concerning for all parties involved. I think it kind of cuts both ways, says Hughes, as there is previously been some sparring between the defense and Carroll County prosecutor Nicholas McClelland over alternative theories and allegations of misleading evidence and bad faith in providing information to Allen's lawyers. I highly doubt that. I think it makes it more problematic than previously. You should see that between the state and the defense, and this doesn't help things. The thing is they came right out of the box criticizing everybody. I do not have a lot of respect for these people. For Thursday, I think it's premature for anything to be done, said Hughes. I think it will probably be referenced, but if you're expecting any type of sanctions or someone being found in contempt, that's premature. Nothing has been filed to suggest that. I think the investigation into the leaks needs to play its course, and then it's up to the state to know how they want to address it later on. Oh, you think so? I'm not agreeing with this person. No. Along with delving into the leak, Judge Gall must still rule on the defense's request to toss the search warrant of Allen's house, which led to his arrest. A year ago, a media request to provide cameras in the courtroom, both this week and during the trial of Allen's protestation. My tongue's not working, guys. You know what I'm saying. Of his continued incarceration at the India Department of Corrections. Protestation. Yeah, everything was supposed to be like, nothing was supposed to be out. There's a gag order out. You know, there's a gag order out. Yeah. I have respect for the defense until they usually start opening up their mouths. Well said. Well said. Yeah, I know. I thank you, James. I'm glad I'm not the only one. my tongue didn't even want to say it. It's like, what? Unreal. Okay. We'll just let that go, right? So what's important to remember is Richard Allen is presumed innocent until determined guilty, said Greenlee. He has been sitting in Westville prison for about a year now. If Judge Gull chooses to remove his defense attorneys, his trial will be scheduled to begin in January. His trial, which is scheduled to begin in January. Sorry about that. It will certainly not begin in January because these new attorneys are going to need to take time, months or perhaps a year or more, just to learn the case, and so pretrial detention period is going to grow even longer through no direct fault of its own. Yeah, it's the the defense. Are you looking it up? Well said. Let's see. Wonder if Siri even knows. Hey, Siri.
Uh-huh.
What is protestation?
I found this on the web.
Protestation. The act of protesting a solemn declaration or AVOWAL. Protestation. Okay. A solemn and often public declaration of the truth or existence of something. That's from Webster. Well, thank you very much. I always say thank you after they give me the information. I forget I'm talking to, like, no one. Oh, my word, Shauna, right? I mean, they've turned it into an ish show. Yeah, there is the problem of if the judge halts it, is going to drag on for months. Yeah, but you know what? I don't know how else to. I don't know what else to other than start over. Yeah, I agree, Tracy. Okay, let's do it. Yes. By the name of Chopper and Franky and whoever wants to ride in with us. Come on. They need to be locked up. You can't be doing that. And you know what? We'll see how big it goes, because it could go to, as a big boo-boo, it's really a bad thing to do. Does she? Did you notice I've got Siri to an Australian accent? I love it. Yeah, I have her set to talk to me in with that Australian, that Aussie accent. I love it. Okay. So let's see here. I think the fact that the leak comes from the defense's attorney side, it makes it a little more complicated because they're the ones fighting the system. And this happened. I think in general, this case has become a circus and is driven by social media to a large degree, said Anya Kane, who reluctantly admits that a podcast, even one hosted by a reporter and a lawyer, exists in the social media realm. So she's talking about their own podcast, which is, again, I don't want to say it wrong. I've said it already a bunch of times through here. And then it just leaves. The M Sheet podcast. 5,000, 5 years and 5,000. Let's do it. I mean, hypothetically, if this guy is, I don't think it's true, but if he's like innocent, it's, look at this Esh show that they've started. And in my personal opinion, he's guilty. And look at the ish they started. Like, it's all unethical and well, it's against the law. So let's see here. So Anya reluctantly admits that a podcast, even one hosted by them, exists in the social media realm. I think we're seeing the dark side of the curiosity here, because what you're having is people that are putting their own needs for information and their own essentially personal gratification above the health and well-being of the case. And this brief certainly speaks to that underlying trend. I think that social media has inflamed this case at every turn, and I think that it's a double-edged sword. You have the sheer amount of crankery. Yeah. Meanwhile, investigators are also aware of the unexpected passing of one of the persons involved in the chain of leaked information. That really piques my interest. Why did this guy unalive himself? And he was very close to this case. I think they can. Yeah, I think so. I mean, I could be wrong. You probably could, friend. You probably could, because, I mean, that's from like a Samsung or something like that. I think I used to have Alexa. But yeah, I'm pretty sure you can. Yeah. I think so. Sanctions and that's what she would bet on. Yeah. Oh my goodness, you guys. Yeah, it's just an ish show. You know, in this case, if you're like me, I've been following this for, well, 7 years? And to see that this is what's happening, it's disheartening. And all you can do is think about their families. You know, Libby was basically raised by her grandparents, and Mike and, well, the Patties, both of them, are so involved in this case, that this is going to hurt them. I mean, this is going to hurt them. Becky Patty, so she's the grandma. You can tell. I mean, in the last 7 years, whoa. I mean, she's changed. She is so hurt. And there's also Abby's mother. There's Libby's sister, Kelsey. It's like, oh my word. I think so. Let me come back to you there, friend. A very good question. Doesn't social media have bans on showing, releasing horrible photos? They do. If I was showing that kind of stuff on Facebook or on YouTube, yeah, I'd probably lose my channel. So what a lot of people do is they pop over to their Patreon and they show it there. And I imagine Discord, they can put it there. They can get it out. So does it mention who it was not now on the team anymore? I don't think there's been a name yet associated with this.
Providing for your family is a top priority. But what happens when you need affordable health care?
No. Okay, what have I got going on over here? I can close that because that was a boo-boo. So, Indiana police are looking into a series of photos from the crime scene of the 2017 Delphi passings that were allegedly leaked to the public. The gruesome images, which were sent via text, at least one of which has appeared on social media. What the what? No. We were taken in the wooded area off the Monon High Bridge Trail in Delphi, where Libby, German 14, and Abigail, Abby Williams 13, were deleted after they disappeared on a hike, February 13th, 2017. Crime scene photos obviously serve as an investigative purpose. Yeah, it's not for ghouls. And the evidence depicted in these pictures can be used to potentially demonstrate the guilt of a particular individual. Kevin Greenlee, host of the M Chic podcast, which has been closely covering Alan's case. So obviously, it's very important for a jury to see these photos and these images. Greenlee, a lawyer, further explained that when a crime scene image is shown during trials, they are typically displayed on a screen to the jury, that precautions are made so no one gets an opportunity to copy and distribute the pictures outside of the court for reasons unrelated to the court. Delphi suspect, oh my word, they want to talk about the autism stuff. Like, since the crimes happened, photos have already been dispersed through the social media and are now forever available for the public to view, which could harm suspect Richard Allen's case. That's interesting. Investigators initially questioned Allen in 2017 after witnesses and security footage tied him and his vehicle to the crime scene. Are you what? I've never heard that before. Initially questioned him after witnesses and security footage tied him to and his vehicle to the crime scene. I've never heard that before. He admitted to being on the Monon High Bridge Trail that day when Abby and Libby were reported missing on February 13th, court documents show, but authorities did not file charges until years. Okay, then. So he talked to what they're calling his interview is literally Richard Allen walking into a grocery store while a nature cop was walking out. And he said, hey, I just wanted to say I was basically on this bridge, but I didn't see anybody at this time. And then that guy wrote it in his little book, and it didn't make any sense what he had written down. I suppose it was just for his own thoughts. So when they did finally go back and look, I mean, it's just an ish show, guys. I mean, it is. Right from the beginning, why is he talking to a nature cop about where he was? Standing on the middle of the bridge while the girls were allegedly being attacked, looking at fish from the bridge. Greenlee and co-host Anya Kane, a journalist, say a clerical error may be the reason why Allen's arrest came 5 years after police initially questioned him in 2017. The Delphi case has been rife with speculation from social media sleuths. Anybody who wanted to could copy those photos and do anything they want with them, including emailing the family members or doing other harassing things. In addition, don't bother the families. It would cause the family members. It would also potentially infringe on Richard Allen's rights because people seeing these pictures could get inflamed with anger and passion, and that could potentially taint the jury pool. Oh, they are, Tracy. They're all like, what? So Greenlee and Kane received the photos from a source who asked them to contact the police, which they did. So the podcast hosts identified one of the people allegedly associated with the leak as a former associate to Andrew Baldwin, one of Allen's attorneys. We contacted police to let them know that there had been a serious breach of discovery in the case. And we also sent an email to the defense team letting them know, Kane said, that at that time we had no idea where the leak was coming from. So we really felt it was important to let both sides know what was happening so they could both address it and perhaps look into where the leak originated from. Wow. Nobody needs to see those. Oh my God. Like, what sick shite thought that was a good idea? Are you kidding me already? So at their latest podcast episode, Greenlee and Kane discussed their process of confirming the authenticity of the photos and then reporting them. But they did not go into detail about the photos themselves, because doing so, they said, would not only hurt the victims' families, but disrupt the ongoing nature of the state's investigation into the murder of the girls. I said the M word. So Fox Digital also learned that the person associated with the photo leak he committed S like a week ago. And Allen's attorneys, Baldwin and Bradley Rossi, last month alleged in a 136-page memo that Libby and Abby were deleted by members of a pagan cult dedicated to Odin and the war god in Norse mythology. I can't read that with a straight face. And that Allen was framed by law enforcement as the main subject in the girl's passing. Yeah. Like the descriptions of the scene, which had not previously been made public, were included in the memo that argues various pagan symbols were found at the crime scene, apparently signifying that the girls were passed in a ritualistic sacrifice. Prosecutors described the allegations made in the memo as fanciful. I know, Shauna. It's like, oh my word, are you kidding me? Like, they've just, not only have they muddied the waters, but they have turned it into an ish show. Yeah, it is. It's head shaking stuff. Yeah, right, Mel? If he's there and his vehicle is also there, guilty AF in my eyes. Yeah, I just can't see. Let's see here. Things that could point out Odinism or some kind of symbols, maybe. Yeah, it could be. It could be. Right? Yeah, it is. I'm thinking, I mean, maybe she was cranky with the employers. I have no idea why someone would do this. I can't. Yep. Better release whoever named Link. This is also, and also they better lawyer up in a big way. Yeah, gonna be after him. They're gonna be after him. So let's see here. I think I'll take a peek at this with you guys for a minute. And we might bomb around the Delphi area for a few minutes. So, potential evidence leak in Delphi case could impact trial, experts say. So this came out today. Delphi, a professor of law at Indiana University, says a potential evidence leak could result in the trial being delayed for the man accused of deleting 2 teenage girls in Delphi more than 6 years ago, working on 7. Richard Allen is charged with the February 13th, 2017 passing of Abby Williams and Libby German. He was arrested for those attacks last October. According to our reporting partners at WPTA, Anya Kane and Kevin Greenlee of the M Sheet podcast claim they have crime scene photos that have not been released to the public. Ellen's legal team is accused of leaking those photos. If the claims are proven true, the punishment could be consequential. According to IU law professor Jody Madeira, she believes Ellen's attorneys could be taken off his January 8th trial, and actions could and would likely result in Ellen's trial date being delayed. Indiana State Police are currently investigating the leak. Okay. It sounds like there's some people being looked at right now. Yeah, oh my word. Let's see over here. What you guys doing? Yeah. I saw a case where the defense actually accidentally sent the prosecution all of the dude's text messages. No. Oh my goodness. Why doesn't the judge just turn to the jury and say, wake up, people, and smell the coffee? Oh, my goodness, right? So I am thinking maybe we should bomb around and take a look at the map time. Let's do it. Well, hey there. Okay, I'm going to see if I can get this a little bit bigger for you. I wonder why it's doing that. Very interesting. Okay, so let's see here. So this is Delphi. Let's go to the bridge. Okay, they're not giving us any place to walk around. So the bridge, last known location of Abby and Libby's. This is where the video footage was taken on at around 2:07 p.m. Libby posted a couple of Abby walking the bridge, and they were reported missing at 5:30 p.m. after they failed to meet Liberty's father at 3:15 pickup time. So let's see here. Where are we going to start? So, okay. We have this trail is you can't really see it clearly. Okay, we've still got the walk. So there is a place here where it's going to branch off a little bit. Over here is where the girls were dropped off. There is like a little parking area in there. Come on. Yeah, not going to happen. So that's where they were dropped off. So then they would have made their way down, followed the path. They're going to go through here, grab onto the path, and just start walking. They get to the bridge, and this is where we've got the picture of Abby crossing, kind of, she's doing it, great job. You can see that she hadn't done it before. So then you also see another picture where Libby's got bridge guy coming through, a little video of bridge guy coming through. And then we haven't seen the paperwork, but allegedly, so there's going to be a dead end and then onto somebody else's property, right? So they got down here, at the bridge ends here, and then it's a dead end because you get into personal property, and if I remember correctly, it is fenced off. So this guy got them to cross the bridge, and I do believe like that is gonna be all over the place here as far as the property line. So they got across the bridge here, got to the very, very end. And this is where she turns on that camera and gets him walking down, gets Abby saying allegedly that he's got the weapon and a few other comments. So at that point, they walk down to the river. So as they're doing that, Libby loses a shoe. They keep going. And not far down, I don't think this is where they were. I think that the clothes here have been tossed. No, I'm not getting it. And give me the info. So very, very close to, well, it was in the creek actually. And what happened to them is over here. They went around the bend somehow. So what they're saying is he crossed the creek. They got them down. Libby loses a shoe. They keep going. And then somehow, at some point in here, he gets them to cross. And in there is, they find a t-shirt that I think it was Libby that was wearing. So then the question is, did they continue down the water? Or did they get onto land right away? I don't think I can move that. No. So they were found not that far back. No, it's going to be just a little entry as to where they went up. They're saying they went up. I'm almost thinking down here maybe. Or over here. Ooh. I've been trying to find... It looks like it would help them. Looks mud. Trying to find a spot where they would have gone up and not been seen. Because the one thing about this is it's all full of the trees right now. And all of the leaves were gone. Oh, Perry, that's a great thought, friend. I never even thought about that, to be honest with you. I honestly, I have never thought about that. Well said. Now the jury was messed with, the financial part of it, but no idea, to be honest. But something come in to put a question mark. So, let me get back here, friends. Okay, so the shoe location, somehow he gets across the water and there is the clothing, her t-shirt. At some point, he brought them into these woods, found a nice little spot where he thought he could tuck away, allegedly, and did this bad stuff. Let's see here. So let's see here. Approximate location of the remains. Let's see. Abby and Libby were found 50 feet away from the Deer Creek on private property on Tuesday, February 14th, 2015 at 2:15 p.m. So, 21 hours they were out there. 21 hours. Sadly, a lot can happen in 24 hours. Ron Logan's property line. Okay. So Ron Logan's property line, description February 14th, 2017. While requesting permission to search his property, law enforcement said he would not be searching his home unless evidence led them into that direction to have to do so, which they eventually did. Because what they did is, okay, bridge guy, he literally takes them from the end of the bridge down to the water, and then he crosses it onto somebody else's private land. Very interesting. So I'll bring this out a little bit. So let's see here. Car drop off. So as far as him getting out, what do you guys think? We were looking at this morning. Do you think he could have, I mean, all these sightings, do you think they could be mistaken sightings and he got away by just walking through those trees? Or even better, I mean, another possibility, because they, in my mind, no, he was not known to the girl's friend. They thought they were going to see young hot guy. They thought they were going to see Anthony Schatz, who Keegan Kline used as a pitcher so he could catfish these two. I mean, the guy's beautiful. I would have went. They found the phone near the girls. They did, Shauna. Yeah. Which is pretty interesting, isn't it? So, there he is. Okay, so I'll make go a little bit closer. So, let's see. I have to go, okay, right there. So, this is where everything happened. This little area in here. The bridge is down here. Got him to follow the water and cross over. And then he ended up on Ron Logan's property is where they were found. So if this guy left, like I have a very hard time believing that he did all of this without leaving much of a trace. And then he somehow walked down the road for everybody to see, muddy and bloody. I don't buy it. So what if, this is just a hypothetical question, what if he did this and he took the water all the way down to his poopy little house right here? So this guy could literally, the trees are right there. He can walk. There's that little creek that runs down here that goes in to, oh my goodness, the river there. Like that, there is water all the way to Mr. Poopy Pants' house. So, is that a possibility in anybody's minds? Because they're not really coming up, they're not convincing me that people seen his vehicle yet. So if he did that, I mean, he could have got right back home. He could have cleaned up and been home in no time. There's always deer trails, cattle trails, all that stuff in this kind of greenery. Or the other thing we were looking at is he could have climbed up the hill that he was on, stayed in the tree line, and the tree line basically will take you to that park where he was parked. So, I mean, there's questions. There's questions. I don't think. This is something else, guys. What did I just do? Okay, so do I have to turn around? They just lied to me. Okay, this is supposed to be that park that they made for the kids. No. But it wasn't. Abby and Libby Memorial Park was where I was trying to go. So, yeah. Freedom Bridge. And a lot of people park there, and then they take a bridge over the highway to get over by the trails. But they're saying right here is probably parked at the old CPS DCS welfare building. So that's where they are saying his vehicle is. But there again, how does parked there? So fairly open as far as that goes. You know, I'm not 1,000% convinced he was parked there. Maybe I'm having a hard time seeing that. But that doesn't mean that he was. So the girls got dropped off right here, and they hooked onto the trail pretty fast, right? They were kind of dropped off at the trailhead. There is a trail that comes all the way through to the bridge. And somewhere in here, there's one that kind of dips down and then reconnects. Abby and Libby, that is, I thought it was closer to town, but nice. Bad guy here. So he gets into the trees. Look at that. That easy. Look at that path. It takes you right to his house, guys. They won't even let you get to his house anymore. Look at that. Lucky, lucky. Why is it doing this? Just curious as far as like Abby and Libby's families. That's better. Thank you. Okay, so Abby and Libby. We can't see theirs anymore either. Look at this. Ah. So why did he pick these girls? Or was he just after one of them? And the other one was collateral damage. Yeah, okay, so down here. He also, whoever did this, not only did he redress Abby, Libby, I don't think had anything on. And then what there was of their clothing that was after dressing Abby, he literally threw in Deer Creek. There has been so many people looked at that it's like they've got a lot on Alan. If it's not him, I'll be surprised. Stop. Where are you going, man? Stay right there. So, what do you guys think? I'll come visit for a couple minutes. The crucial things seem to be more on the south side. I really do think it would be easier to vacate that area, go back towards Abbey House, than it would be a straight shot home. Right? Right? I mean, it seems like a ritual of ink kind of would take a lot of time. That's super risky in the middle of the day. It is. I'm not buying it. Wonder if he was watching the girls or just random. Either way, sick and horrible, but for an area not known by the public. He knew about it because we seen pictures of him, well, pictures that he was taking of his daughter sitting on Monon High Bridge. So he's very familiar with it. He's very, very familiar with it. No, wouldn't even need a vehicle, Mel. He could literally walk there. Yeah, and I mean, I was going to say the same, Shawnee. He does know the area really well. He was raised up in that little area there. He was not far from Peru, not far from Delphi, and for years now, he had lived in Delphi and made that where his residence was. Yes. Very familiar with that area. Yeah. Yeah. And another channel, I know someone that visited that bridge and they said no one would actually go. Is that right? They fixed it up now though, right? They've made it. Yeah, Keegan Kline. He's sitting in the Hooskow for what, 30 years now? For all of his nasty content on his phone and contacting the girls, and it's actually very rare for strangers to attack. I think it's only like 0.5%. Is that right? Unreal. Unreal. You know, the girls were very familiar with this as well. Oh, there are so many areas they can hide. I mean, he very much knew that area, and it wouldn't surprise me if he knew his way through that green, or like through the trees. Wouldn't surprise me, because I'm sure, you know, he had a daughter. Isn't that something the daughter would want to do? Me, I would. So that is what I have for today, friends. I just wanted to kind of catch up about these leaks. I don't imagine there's going to be any cameras. If there is, I'll be there. And if not, I'll give an update as soon as we've got one as to what is going on with him. So thank you very much, everybody. So if you haven't subscribed, please do. And hit that thumb. Get us into that algorithm just that much more. So I appreciate you guys. And I'll see you in the next one. Bye.